Hello, everyone. We will just be starting the webinar shortly, just a few more minutes. Hi, Bridget, Helene, and Nico. Thanks for joining today.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
If you guys don't mind, you can just rename yourselves and just add your position as well so that the attendees can know what your position is. Almost 4 o'clock. I think we're just waiting on Ella to join. Not sure if she's having any problems, but just going to give it a few more minutes for some more students to join, and hopefully Ella will join us soon as well.
Oh, Ella won't be able to make it. She has.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's good. That's all right. We have you, so we're good. I'm just gonna wait, just give a few more minutes for students to join and just do some setting up things here. I hope you all are ready for the webinar, excited for it. It's your first orientation event, kind of. So yeah. Okay. 1 minute pause for just while we're waiting for some more students to join in. For the students who are joining us today, if you want to just put in the chat like where you're from, what program you will be attending at Mount A this coming fall, just like so the orientation chairs also get to know you a little bit in the chat as well. So we'll just get started soon. Hopefully the chat works because there's always times where it doesn't. So
Do we send it right now? Oh, yes. Okay.
people are, yeah, I think people are putting it in.
Okay, excellent.
Oh, Ontario, nice. Hey, seems like we have a decent amount of people joining in, and this is going to be recorded anyway. So, like for students who are not able to join in today, it is going to be available on YouTube. So, I think we're good to start. I think one of the student put something in the chat for music. That's pretty cool, Edward. Okay. Hello, everyone. So I'm Pushkaraj. I'm the admissions counselor, student information systems at the Mount Allison admissions office, and today we are joined with three orientation chairs, the University Orientation Chair, Elaine, International Orientation Chair, Aiko, and Bridget, who is the Mean Center Co-Orientation Chair. Before we begin with just the orientation webinar, this is going to be more of like an informal session with all the O chairs. I'm going to be asking them a few questions about orientation, and they are the ones who will be communicating with you guys over the summer. So yeah, it's pretty much an open floor for them today, and for them to like talk about what orientation is like. So this is just basically a live Q&A session that's happening. And any questions that you have as students, you can put that in the Q&A section. It's mainly about if you have any questions regarding orientation. If you have any questions regarding admissions or your admissions process, that should be going to the admissions@mta.ca email. This session is generally just for questions about orientation and just for you guys to get an idea of like what orientation week is going to look like. So yeah, before we get into the questions that I'm going to be asking, do the OCHs want to introduce themselves, like your name, what program you're studying at Mount A, what your position is about, and just generally about the department that you're working for, like what your internship is like over the summer. So just some general information. Elaine, I don't want to put you on the spot, but you can start.
No, I can absolutely go first. So hello everyone, my name's Elaine. I am the University Orientation Chair this year. I'm going into my 4th year here at Mount A. I'm majoring in environmental studies and double minoring in political science and geography. I'm from Orillia, Ontario. And yeah, I'm really excited to be the orientation chair this year, and I cannot wait for September 1st and to meet all of you lovely folks.
That's great. Thank you so much. Aiko, do you want to go next?
Yes, thank you. Hi everyone, my name is Aiko. I am from Mexico and I am the International Orientation Orientation Chair for this year's International Orientation. I've been posting our pre-arrival stuff has just started in our Instagram page, so please follow us. I've been posting some posts as well as some videos, and you will be meeting your facilitators there as well. And we'll be sharing important information, not only regarding our orientation, but also regarding the other orientations. And I am studying international relations with a double minor in psychology and Japanese studies. Yeah, and that's it.
That sounds really exciting. Thank you so much, Aiko. And Bridget, you want to go next?
Hi, I'm Bridget Pounding. I'm this year's pre-orientation Me and Center co-chair. I just finished my 1st year of university, so I'm going into my 2nd year doing the PPE program, which is philosophy, political science, and economics. So I'm really excited for September for the orientation, so can't wait to meet you all.
No, that's really exciting. We're all excited for orientation, and we can't wait to have all the students join us in Mount Hay on the beautiful fall weather. So yeah, so I think we can get directly into the questions. This is just basically for the students to get an understanding of what orientation is all about. So the first question is, in terms of the order, maybe we can follow the same order, Elaine, Aiko, and then Bridget. Like basically, you can just answer what you feel right for the question that I'm going to be asking. So the first question is like, what made you apply for your respective O-chair positions?
That's a great question. I think what made me apply for O-chair is that I just generally really love orientation and all the excitement that comes along with it. A week is probably one of my favorite weeks at Mount A. I've been involved in various ways in a week in the past, and I figured why not apply for this job when I saw the posting and just be involved as much as possible. Yeah, we're planning some pretty cool events for you guys, and yeah, stay tuned for more updates along the way. Yeah, the summer is just flying by, it seems. So it feels like September is just right around the corner. So yeah, like I said, like I'm really excited to meet all of you folks. And yeah, we got a lot planned for you guys. So hope you're getting ready for that.
I decided to apply to my position because I remember my first international orientation with PJ, and I remember last year international orientation, and it was really, really fun, and I had so much fun. And as soon as I arrived, I was like, whoa, how does this organize themselves? How people organize themselves? They put all of this together. They put their dance, they prepare these meetings, they prepare the facilitators, they prepare here, there, and then I was like, oh my God, I need to do this. Like, this is amazing how you feel at home once you arrive from a different country and you arrive here to Canada. International orientation just makes you feel at home like right away, and you are like, even though you're feeling nervous, even though you're feeling like excited and you're feeling like a little bit like a lot of fear inside yourself, international orientation, you meet people that are feeling the same way as you, and they are like, oh my God, I'm also really nervous. I don't know what to do. I don't know who to talk to. And people is like, okay, don't worry. I know exactly, I'm feeling exactly the same way. So let's stay together. And my best friend who I met in international orientation right now is my roommate. So we are like, it's amazing. You meet a lot of different people from all over the world, and just you learn about music, you learn about dances, you learn about food, you learn about everything you can, and you learn the most, like, even though Sackville is a little bit small, it has their like a lot of big secrets of how beautiful it is Sackville during the summer and during the fall semester and even during the winter.
Yeah, I agree with you guys too. I think that I was really excited about orientation, and I really like orientation season, and I also just found that into the school and stuff like that. So that's kind of why I decided to apply for the position, and I'm really happy I did. It's been fun, like setting everything up and planning all these ideas for how to have sessions with like fun things happening at the same time. So it's going to be really exciting.
No, that's great. Thank you so much. And most of these questions are kind of going to overlay a little bit, but yeah, you just feel free to answer things that you haven't answered already. So basically, the other question that I have is like, what was your experience as an incoming first year student being a part of O Week? Sorry, there's a lot of background noise. I'm just going to try to tune that out a little bit. Just yeah, people are just leaving the office right now. Sorry, my bad. Anyway, so what was your experience as an incoming first year student being a part of O Week? Like, what was certain things that you found were amazing that it completely changed your experience and like your transition to university life? As obviously like it's there's always a first time for university, right? So like when you came in and you were part of the orientation week and you're like, okay, these activities or these people that I met, the facilitators that I met, they really helped me in certain way to just transition. Like you can just basically talk about your experience, how that helped you kind of be a part of Mount A and like just make you fall in love with Mount A kind of thing. I hope you are, but yeah.
Yeah, again, good question. I think for me personally, my orientation week looked a little bit different from previous years because when I started, it was in the fall of 2020. So COVID restrictions were pretty strict back then. But we still had like a bit of an orientation, like we're still in orientation groups, and they did a lot of hybrid activities. So we were still able to meet like a good number of people. But I think just being in an O group and like connecting with your peers and having that your O group leaders, as because your each O group or orientation group has two upper year students who lead the group, and meeting them and just learning a lot about just like Mount A in general, learning more about the campus and the academic life and like social life and more about residences and Sackville's community was really good to hear. And another thing is that like everyone's in the same boat, like everyone's new here. Most people don't know anyone else. Everyone's feeling like the same nerves, a little bit of excitement at the same time. So yeah, it is it is kind of scary coming and starting university. But I found that Mount A just has like a very welcoming environment. Everyone's super friendly here. And yeah, I still talk to and still friends with a lot of people I met like within the first week of coming here. Yeah, I just find that everyone at Mount A just seems to be just some of the best people, and yeah, again, I'm excited to see what this year brings too.
Oh, for me personally, one of the first memories that I have from international orientation was when I first arrived. I arrived like one day later because my flight got canceled from Mexico to Canada. So, and then in Canada it went away. So I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. I don't know how am I gonna do to my connection flight. I just have to run or fly myself, grow wings or do something because this is crazy. And when I arrived, everybody was so nice. And I remember right now, one of my best friends, when I first arrived with her and I was talking to her, I was really shy in that moment. So I was repeating myself so many times and I didn't understand her. And she told me like, wow, you cannot understand anything, right? Are you like, you don't cannot hear or something? And I was like, no, it's not that. It's just like, it's really loud here. And it's just like my first transition from here to there. And she was like, oh, I get it. I am in the same position as you. And I was like, yeah, I know. And then we started talking and then I met another like people from my own country, people from my own region, like Latin America. And then I went all the way to Japan. And then I went all the way to like Europe and then the United States and all of that. So that was amazing. And for me, like those cultural shocks, even though for sometimes it's like really, really shocking, for me, it's really funny to see how my culture shocks with other type of cultures. Because it's like, oh, this is funny. Maybe for you, no, but maybe for me it is. And it's just like really, really interesting to see how different cultures work within each other so they could have like their common ground. And that is amazing, their international orientation. And that is a thing that I remember always.
I also found that everyone was super, super helpful and nice when I got to Mount Allison, and I moved in early with the pre-orientation crew, and it was really wonderful just how kind and welcoming everyone was. And obviously it can be an overwhelming time, so having that extra time to move in and get acclimated before it gets really crazy with all the fun orientation events with the music and the high energy stuff, it's really great to be able to have that too, where you just get to kind of figure it out and then go into those more high energy events. So I think for that, it was pre-orientation was good transition to help out with that. And I found that even though like a lot of the things going on are really crazy and overwhelming because there's so many different things happening at the same time, you do get to meet a lot of wonderful people and you get to really figure things out. And even it feels like it takes a really long time. Like my first week, I felt like it was 2 months because it was just so many different events happening, so many meeting new people, like everything was always happening. It was just, but it was really great. So yeah.
That's good to hear, and I'm glad that like all three of you have had like similar experiences with orientation as well. Like I also had I was also in the same boat kind of thing. Like even though I just graduated this year, I feel really old. My orientation was like 3 years ago, and I was like, yeah, I feel like it. I feel like a dinosaur right now. But basically, like I came in winter semester, and I never got to do the fall orientation, and I got the opportunity the following semester. So I was in the fall orientation with a class after me, so most of my friends are graduating next year, so it's like some of them graduated with me this year, but orientation was a really, really amazing time, as Aiko said as well. Like as an international student, it's a big transition, and then the whole point of like international orientation, pre-orientation, and UO is the fact that you get to come like 2 weeks before or like a week before your classes actually start, and you get to kind of experience all of these fun activities and just get acclimatized to like the academic side of the university and just all these resources that are available to you. And the main resource, which is just your peers, right? Like meeting students who are also in the same boat and kind of making those initial friendships, making those initial connections, which tend to last almost forever. Like I still know most of my friends that I met in my first year, so I'm very close to them as well. So like, yeah, I completely agree with the point of why the experience of like coming to orientation week is like really, really important. As the second question, the third question is kind of again like a little bit of overlay, kind of similar, but what as an orientation chair and as someone who's experienced orientation week, why would you recommend incoming students to be part of OP week? Like maybe it's like you can put in 1 point or 2 points or just like how many of points you like, but like why would you recommend them? What is something that they will take out of being a part of orientation week? You might have already answered this, but maybe just another answer that you can think of?
I think probably one of like the number one things I find is that you get introduced to like so many people all at once, and you really start to like build a lot of connections right off the bat, like as soon as you move in. There's always like so many people to meet. I think in terms of what you should take away from a week is that I think just getting settled into your new home here. And yeah, because like the orientation week is designed to like help you transition into starting your new life here. And yeah, like starting university can be scary. And like just moving away from home, like it's a big deal. But I'd say I just recommend like going out to as many events and activities as possible throughout the week, because then you kind of get a taste of so many different things, and yeah, you just get to know the campus more. You just feel a little bit more comfortable just around, and yeah, I guess that's what I'd say.
I think my recommendation is for sure come to orientation. I think the events are like the most amazing things you can see. Is what I remember for my orientation is like actually out of a movie. Like you see the movies and you are like, it is out of a movie. You see all the events, like all the houses, all the dances are like, wow, when did I decided to come to this movie? And it's really awesome. But like, just as PJ was telling and as Elaine was telling, like coming to university, especially if you are changing from one country to another, you need time to be adapting to your new place. Because for me, my first whole month, even if I was living in residence, for me it was still a hotel. I wasn't feeling like actually a place, but for me it still was a hotel. And I was like, oh my God, when am I gonna be saying like, oh yeah, I'm going to my room, and just saying like, no, I'm staying in my hotel. My parents are gonna come like 3 weeks later, I'm gonna go. And it just takes time. And of course it's difficult because it's not even just a different country, it's even a different language, and then it's even different people. It's just you don't knowing what to say, what not to say, how to make yourself understandable to other people. It is difficult, but coming to these events helps you to see more or less what you are going to be facing during the next year, and if you want to stay here longer during your entire life. And it just takes time. But this one, like orientations, the 3 orientations, and all of us, we are here to make you adapt yourself in the smoothest way possible, and to tell you like, hey, don't worry, what you are feeling is really normal. So yeah, I think that's like my point of view.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. I think that the adapting, like acclimating to the campus, to the people and stuff, I think that's definitely a very important part of attending orientation or pre-orientation or international orientation, or all 3. But I think that also just finding supports, whether it's through friends or through, upper year students, staff members, just connecting with people in general, I think is one of the big bonuses of orientation, that you can really, you can really find your people, and you can do it in a way that's like it's set up so that you can connect with people in a nice way, where you don't have to exert yourself too much socially, because it's already a situation where that is, recommended, or it's like enforced to connect with people. So I think that is definitely a very big bonus to orientation that people should attend. And I think just otherwise, I mean, learning about resources and stuff on campus, whether you have any needs that need to be met, or whether you just are curious about how things run, it, like everything, going to orientation helps with that so much, because it just gets you used to the way that things will be once classes start, before you're actually thrown into the actual courses. So yeah.
That's great. And from more of an admissions perspective, I have to remind myself that I'm not a student anymore, and I'm an admissions counselor. So yeah, more from an admissions perspective, over the orientation week, we will also have like events that are planned by the O chairs that are specifically related to administrative things, like your academic sessions, or like just getting to understand how the academic structure works. We will basically have a fair which we can, like, learn more about the resources that are provided by the university, such as the wellness center, the Mean Center, generally the bookstore, and just general student service supports that are available to you. So it's not like, the main part obviously is like getting to know people and, like, making those connections and just having a good time and like making that transition. It's also about like understanding what your university life is going to be like. So as Bridget said, that, like, there's the resources aspect of it is also really important. So that's something that you will get to experience during the O week. Not that you won't be able to experience it if you don't come to O week, but that's basically just, you get a head start and you get to be comfortable with your transition before classes start. Because once classes start, it is a bit of a rush initially, just kind of getting used to the fact that you have to go to classes, you have to do this and that. And so that the initial 1 or 2 weeks are really important to kind of get yourself and give yourself the time to get used to things. Obviously, a week is also kind of like crazy and out there, and you will be doing a lot of things, but it's also a time for you to kind of just take in that knowledge, take in those resources, and just take in those connections that you'll be making during the 1 or 2 weeks, based on which orientation you're attending. So yeah, just wanted to add one more thing. Like, for example, international orientation, for the international students, you get to go to Moncton, which is a city 30 minutes away, and you get to buy things that you need for your campus, on campus or off campus housing, or get services such as like setting up your bank account, setting up your like Canadian phone number and things like that, which are really important, are also you can do those during orientation week, which is really important for students. So yeah, just wanted to point those things out. So the next question will be, this might be a little early in the stage, but also, like, if you guys have answer to this, like, have you planned any summer activities for students who have registered for orientation? Like, this might be a little early on in planning, in the planning phase. Mainly this session is just for students to get introduced to you guys. But other than that, if you have any general idea that we're going to be doing this, and there's some fun activities over the summer before like orientation starts, like, feel free to point them out.
Yeah, so we actually just opened our registration form. I saw a question in the chat, when does registration open? So you can register for a university orientation. If you follow us on Instagram, it's at mta.orientation. You can register using the link in our bio. And you should also be able to register through the Mount Allison website, mta.ca/orientation. I don't believe that the registration link has been updated quite yet, but it should be up there by next week for sure. But you can register through our Instagram page. But in terms of summer activities planned, we don't have any quite yet, but there might be a few over the summer. So just follow along and stay tuned for some cool things coming your way.
I think this is the moment for me to shine. I'm gonna be honest. I've been preparing a lot of stuff for the summer. This has been like my moment. If there's any international students right now, you possibly know me because of all the mails that I've been sending here and there. Every single week, you are receiving a mail from me. No matter what it is, even if it's a spam or just saying like, hey, I hope you're having a great day. We have our new Instagram page, which is mounta.io, and there I've been starting to post the videos that are going to be helping you to get to know a little bit more of Sackville and a little bit more of Mount Allison. And right now we have this amazing video series that is called, instead of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, it's called Keeping Up with Internationals. And you see Max and all of his friends getting adapted to Mount Allison, getting ready before coming to Canada, what you should bring, getting to know of campus life as well on campus. campus life, Sackville social life, job opportunities, what to do in case of scams and all of that. And also really recommended for you to sign up to our Moodle page, because if by any chance you don't like social media or you are having a detox from social media, that's totally okay, because we are ready for that. You can sign up to our Moodle page because we have there our schedule, and as well we'll be posting there our videos. And if you have any questions, concerns, comments, I don't know, you just want to chat, I always am answering my emails every then and here and then there and here. So and we are really excited. I've been putting so much efforts on this video for you. The principal thing about IO, I think for me, is for you to have a good time. So if you are laughing with the videos, I totally assure you that you will be having a fun time with us. And I think that's, yes, that's it.
Well, I don't think we have anything planned for the summer, but we do have an Instagram page as well. So it's pre_orientation 2023. And we'll just be posting updates on what we're planning to do. And again, things like what you should bring and different things like that. But yeah, we don't have any like concrete plans for the summer just yet.
No, that's completely all right. I know it's a little early on the planning phase as well, and this webinar is basically just for students to get to know you guys, but just wanted to put it out there just in case, like as Aiko pointed out, that she has some fun things going on right now. So just that students get an understanding of that. It's not just like the O week that's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to be happening. Like there's some things that happen over the summer as well, but just for them to kind of get used to the fact that, like, you know, they're coming to Mount A, and just help them prepare and get those initial questions answered as well through the orientation chairs. So moving on to the next question. I think the next two ones are kind of nice because I feel like you'll be able to talk more on that. So the next one is, what has your experience been being a student at Mount Allison and a part of the Sackville community? Just not as co-chairs, but just as a student, so that this incoming students get an understanding of what life is like for us students, not me, sorry, but you students at Mount A.
What is life like at Mount A and in Sackville? I mean, I think it depends on each person, because everybody like experiences it differently. For me, I'd say, I've had a great experience so far. Honestly, I can't believe I'm going into my 4th year. That seems kind of crazy. But I think one of my favorite things about Mount A is that there's so many opportunities to get involved. And if you're, whether it's like joining a club or a society, joining the MASU, whether it's volunteering for an event on campus or volunteering with the town. There's so many opportunities and resources to take advantage of here. And yeah, it's really all up to you and how you choose to live it. And yeah, just it's all up to you. It's your story. Also, the theme of the university orientation this year is "Your Story Starts Here." So yeah, it's all up to you. It's how you make it. Yeah, that's what I'd say.
My experience as a student and here in Sackville, I love Sackville. I come from a very big city, and the change from the city to here, Sackville, like just really everything is just one place and all of that. It was a huge change, but I love the nature. I love the view sites and all of that. Like in Sackville, it's really beautiful during the summer. If you have a chance, stay in Sackville during the summer, because I don't know any place that it could be as beautiful as in Sackville. The colors are amazing. The smell is great. The people that are staying here is also great. I've been staying in Sackville for 2 summers, and it has been by far my best experiences. I met my best friends also as well during the summer, and it's really good. And then during the classes and like the academic year, I gotta be honest with all of you. I love all my classes, every single one of them. From my very beginning in the first year with my Japanese classes that I was struggling so badly with the language, but then at the end, just as I was insane, my Japanese professor and I became like super close. The professors are amazing. I totally recommend going to office hours, because that's a good thing about Mount Allison, because it's a really small community. The professors actually get to know you, and they actually get to help you during your essays. If you are struggling with an exam, this is a cultural shock as well. For me, at least, it was like the professors actually listen when you are going through a hard time, and they tell you like, it's okay to take a break. You can do the exam next day, and it's totally fine. So if you feel you're going through a hard time, you can tell your professor and they will be okay with that. And if you don't like any classes, that's totally fine. Mount Allison is what for me is like more like mind-blowing is the fact that they actually care about you, about your mental health and everything you are going through. And just like Elaine was saying, like there's so many options for you to be meeting people. Volunteering, for example, that's going to be an answer for one of the next questions, but CHMA, it's amazing, and it's a great way to start meeting new people. So, oh my God, it's just awesome.
Yeah, I would also say the community and definitely the relationship with the professors is amazing. That's definitely one of my favorite things about Mount Allison. You can really be friends with your professors, and sometimes you'll just run into them around town, like at the cafes and things like that, and just have like conversations about philosophy just randomly because you're reading a philosophy book that isn't assigned by the class and your prof is there, and it just, random things like that happen all the time because it is a small town. And so that's part of the beauty of Mount Allison, is that you can really have, a personal connection with the people who are teaching you and understand their views on things and the way that they've been able to interact with the work that they're doing in class. So I think that is definitely really, really amazing. And again, the community just between students as well. I think that there are a lot of different ways of connecting with people through volunteer organizations and things like that. And the sport teams, if you're in sports, they are so connected and energetic. It's really sweet to see how they get along so well. And so I think that there are all sorts of things like that, but I think that it is the community that is the biggest aspect of Mount Allison, along with the academics associated with that makes it so special.
That's great. Thank you for those wonderful answers. And this is basically just another follow-up question on why you like Sackville or Mount A. Is basically what's your favorite thing about Mount A or Sackville? Like favorite thing to do, it can be one or two things. You can just keep it short, and yeah, like it can be the Mount A or Sackville or both.
I'd say one of my favorite things to do in Sackville, probably to do in town, would probably be to like having a little study session at Cranewood, which is a cafe and bakery on Main Street. Yeah, they have really good coffee there, and yeah, I always get really good amount of studying done whenever I go there. And it's fun to just go like hang out with friends there too. Yeah, I'd say that's probably one of my favorite things to do in Sackville.
One of my favorite things to do in Sackville and Mount Allison is going to the radio station CHMA. I know it's my whole personality by this point, but seriously, it's amazing. It's the local radio station, which is located in the student center, third floor, and it's amazing. You can go there, you can have your own show and play your own music. It doesn't matter the language, it doesn't matter what it says, you can play your own music, and the people there are amazing. That's my favorite thing to do in like the both, like Mount Allison and Sackville, and also go for walks. Sackville is so beautiful, and even though it seems small, it's so big once you go out to take walks, and you can find beautiful places such as the quarry, like it's like behind Thornton and Edwards. That place is beautiful.
My favorite thing would probably be going for runs or jogs on Waterfowl Park. So it's like boardwalks over the marsh. And if you go around sunset or sunrise time, it is like absolutely beautiful, no matter the weather. Even in winter, I'll sometimes go for a jog there because it's just really incredibly beautiful. And there are ducks around, and you can see the beautiful sky. And so I think that's a really nice place with lots of birch trees and things like that you can see. So if you're a lover of nature, it's definitely a great place to go, just to be, feel nice.
That's great. Like there's certainly a lot of wonderful things to do in Sackville. Like you think you can't do a lot in Sackville, but every summer, every year, I'm just like, I find a new thing and I end up like finding a new hobby every summer or like just in general every year. The last question, I think we kind of did answer it, but like how do students register for your specific orientation? I know, Elaine, you said that the website hasn't been updated yet and might be updated by next week, but are there links on your Instagram pages that student can just go and register for? Like just you can just basically quickly answer that so that we had a few questions about that as well. So just so that students know, and if you can put in the links for your Instagram page as well, so that students can just quickly access that right here.
Yeah, I can add the link in the chat. And yeah, there's really no rush to register. It's the registration form is open all the way until end of August. But the earlier we get all the numbers, the easier it is for us to like kind of plan around. And the earlier we can like get you guys into your orientation groups and get you connected with your orientation group leader too. So I will put throw the link in the chat now.
Well, I send the Instagram page on the chat right now. I'll be sending again the registration link for international orientation. But if you have received a confirmation email that you are already, because I can see some of the people, some of the names, I recognize some of the names. You don't need to sign up again. So you can just like send the link to a person that you know who hasn't signed up or who hasn't received the confirmation email. And it will be also in the Instagram page.
Yeah, we will be putting our link up in the Instagram page. We haven't put it up yet. I know some people have already signed up too, but if you haven't, I think it is on the Mount Allison website, and we will be posting it on our Instagram soon.
And the other thing you guys might can also put in is just specific emails that students can reach out to. For example, like the orientation email, and Aiko, if you have an international email, and Bridget, I'm not sure if Me and Center has their email, but you can just generally put the Me and Center email as well. That just students can reach out to if they have any questions specifically related to orientation. I did see some questions in the chat. That's all for my questions at the moment. Like if there's anything else that you guys want to add on that you haven't mentioned already, like feel free to do so. I'm just going to go through some of the questions here and see if I can answer them. We're just going to try to answer more of the orientation specific questions and not general admissions questions through this webinar, just so that the students who will be watching this online can also just focus more on the orientation things that have been spoken about. But the students who have general questions regarding the admissions process, you can just email admissions@mta.ca and we will get back to you on that. I'm just putting the email right here. But I think we had one question where it said, do you have to register for university orientation if you've registered for international orientation? I think the answer for that is yes. The registrations for both the international orientation and the university orientation are separate. So if you've registered for the international orientation and you would like to also attend university orientation, which is right after the international orientation, yeah, you can definitely do so. And I think one thing we didn't mention were the dates for the orientation. I'm not sure if those have been finalized for each of you guys, but if they have, just like you can put them in the chats right there, so the students get an understanding as well that these are separate orientations that are happening and they can basically register for them individually. Oh, sorry guys. The chats that you've been putting have only been going to us, like the students have not been able to see them. So you'll have to send them again. Just make sure that you're sending them to everyone instead of just hosts and panelists.
Got it. Thanks, PJ.
Yeah.
I'll fix that.
I see a question on the Q&A section from Heli. Heli, basically, Elaine is going to put a link in the chat for how to register for the university orientation, just a link for that. And it will also be updated on our website by next week, mta.ca/orientation. But Elaine just put the link to register in the chat there. And Efra and Shanawaz, I'm sorry, I won't be able to answer those questions right now, but you can directly email me as well. I'm just going to put both the admissions email and my email as well. So you can just ask me those questions and I can answer, I can get back to you on them soon. Hey. We have another question saying, for international students, what are the bus timings for 28th August? So I think, I'm not sure, Aiko, if you have that information yet, and don't be like, you're not obligated to answer that if you don't have that information. I like, through my understanding, they will be given that information once they register for international orientation, right? Like they will be given those updates with the bus timings as well. Okay. So basically the suggestion would be to register for international orientation if you have not already. And once you do, you will keep getting those updates about the bus timings and the pickup timings for international students. Okay, just checking if there's any other questions. Chat. I think Elaine just put the link to the orientation in the chat for all 3 orientations as well. So yeah, you can just see those in the chat right there. That's all the questions that I see so far. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to put it in the Q&A session so I can so I can just see them clearly and hopefully answer them. As long as they're related to orientation, all the other questions you can just email them to admissions so we can reach out to you specifically and answer your question individually. But that's it for my questions for the orientation chairs. Anything else if you want to add on, like feel free to do so. And this is just one of the sessions that we'll be having. Obviously, you all have your own summer activities planned, and thank you so much for taking the time out to introducing yourselves and meeting our students who will be coming in soon. And this will also be going on YouTube as well. So for those of you who want to watch it again, and for those who are not able to make it, like you can watch it on YouTube and just get an understanding of what orientation is going to be like. And to be honest, it is always exciting. It's a once in a lifetime experience, to be honest. Like I was kind of sad that I missed it the first time I came in, but when I actually was able to do it in the following fall semester, it was absolutely amazing. And I was also an ICO shoe, like she was like 2 years ago, and I was the orientation chair. And not just being a part of the orientation, but also being the orientation chair is a completely different experience. Like just having that feeling of that you're helping students transition to university life is also very rewarding. And so yeah, it's great to see people's journeys individually. And again, all 3 of them have pointed this out, but I want to say it again, that like with Mount A, we ensure that we make your individual journey as beautiful and as accommodating as possible. And that's what you get here. You get to be a part of the Mount A family, which is you don't get that quite often. So yeah, if you guys don't have any other questions, I think it's safe to end the webinar here. And obviously this is not the end. Like you can always reach out to the orientation chairs, and this is just start of the whole your journey to Mount A kind of situation. But yeah, like end of the webinar, unfortunately. Thank you so much for joining all the chairs, and thank you so much for joining the students who are in the chat there as well. So yeah, have a wonderful evening
Thanks for
and see you later.
you.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
See you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.